Namaste. Happy New Year to each one of you. Today is the first day of the year, and the series that I am starting is a series based on Shani Sade Sati. And today, the first part, I am discussing on a certain black magic spell that works especially when you are going through Shani Sade Sati. There are many cases where you are trying for a job but you are not getting that job. You are trying to get married but you are not getting a proper marriage partner. You are trying to do good in business but you are unable to do it. It feels as if you are restricted. Restrictions is what Saturn brings. And the black magic spell bandhan kriya or bandhan dosh is connected with this restriction. You feel restricted. You feel as if your progress is not happening. There is no promotion. There is no growth. Money is not coming as expected. So it feels as if like everything is stuck. And this is what Shani Sade Sati brings in life. Of course, it has a good point to it that when you go through this kind of sufferings, you evolve as a person, but only if you are having a certain depth of understanding. Otherwise, you will continue to complain, you will continue to cry, and eventually you will not learn anything from these challenges and these sufferings. In this first part of this series, Shani Sade Sati, I have talked more about this black magic spell and what exactly it is, how it happens, and many more things which many of you will find helpful. Many of you will learn certain insights through this podcast. So let's begin with this first part of Shani Sade Sati. And if you have any specific experiences of going through Shani Sade Sati, if you have certain questions about Shani Sade Sati, and if your question is really good, then I will definitely answer it in the next part of this series. So let's begin. Sade Sati and the connection of black magic. Sade Sati means when Saturn comes closer to your moon. When Saturn transits 12th, 1st and 2nd from moon, Sade Sati happens. So from this we can also derive the fact that Saturn affects the second house from its own house, as well as Saturn's third aspect also works more prominently than Saturn's 7th or 10th aspect. So now coming to the most significant topic of a unique kriya called bandhan kriya. What it means in simple words is that the black magician locks your fortune by using certain dirty black magic spells that are performed in deep secrecy and in the graveyard, or by using the ashes of a dead body. When someone pays to the black magician, then the black magician casts a black magic spell called bandhan kriya, and the outcome of this spell is called bandhan dosh. Bandhan means restriction and dosh means problem. So when someone asks, what is the problem with my life? Why I am not getting a job? Why I am not doing well in business? Why I am not getting a good marriage partner? Then a wise person, a wise spiritual person sees that someone has cast a bandhan kriya on him. Then he says, you have a bandhan dosh, meaning you have the problem of being restricted. Bandhan kriya is also done by locking your deity. that is your Kula Devata or the deity that you worship. And this is done to ensure that the grace of your deity is not able to reach you, and thereby you tend to lose your job, or you tend to suffer in your marriage, or in worse scenarios you tend to end up in deep psychological mental issues such as depression and frustrations. And in worst scenarios you may end up your life by committing suicide. So basically, bandh diya or bandhan kriya is a very significant black magic play that can prove disastrous and can block your progress, can even block your prospects of getting a good job, or it can even block your prospects of finding a good marriage partner. In short, Bandhan Kriya is a very devastating black magic spell that can lead to the destruction of your family as well as destruction of all your dreams and aspirations. Now, the obvious question that may arise in your mind is that many black magicians may be doing this kind of Bandhan Kriya on many of their targeted victims. So, will everyone get impacted? The answer is yes, but the measure of impact varies from person to person. And this is where astrology comes into picture. Astrology determines the transits of planets, and so the impact of such dangerous, devastating black magic spell is when the person's planetary transit is going through a certain difficult phase, or when the person is running through a certain difficult Mahadasha. Today in this podcast, I am going to precisely talk on the planetary transit that decides the impact of such a dangerous black magic spell. Because it is necessary to remember that you cannot stop a person from doing black magic on you. However, you can always work on your defense mechanism and thereby protect yourself from the attacks of such black magic spells. Bandhan Kriya is basically to put restrictions on you. You mean the mind. Because 99% of human world is controlled by their mind. So as Saturn comes closer to your natal moon, you start feeling certain restrictions. For example, you now struggle to find a new job. You struggle to find a good partner. You struggle to have good terms with your marriage partner. You seem to struggle to get the credit for the work that you have done. The more the restrictions, the more you continue to struggle to find a way. Restriction is just the way someone ties your hands and you struggle to untie your hands. This is exactly what happens when Saturn starts transiting from the 12th house of your natal moon. So Bandhan Kriya works more effectively on you when you are going through Saturn Sade Sati period. As of now, Sagittarius, Capricorn and Aquarius, these three signs are going through Sade Sati period. So it is obvious that if someone is doing black magic spell, if someone is doing black magic, especially if someone has cast a black magic spell using Bandhan Kriya, then natives born in these three signs with moon in Sagittarius, Capricorn or Aquarius will be impacted more than natives born in other 9 signs. Basically, Bandhan Kriya works more effectively on a person when he or she is going through Shani Sade Sati period, because Saturn loves to put restrictions, and so whether it is through black magic spell or otherwise, during Sade Sati period, certain restrictions are put on the native, and the native has no choice than to keep walking until Sade Sati is over. On January 17, 2023, Sagittarius is going to get out of the lockup, meaning Sade Sati is getting over for Sagittarius folks. So I would insist that on January 17th, celebrate the very first moment of your freedom. Because from Jan 17th, you are going to start feeling much better, much lighter, and within 6 months, you will also experience much movement in your life. Because restrictions will be lifted and you will be given a chance to experience the taste of freedom. However, when one member is released out of the prison, a new member has to replace him. And so now the new member comes under Sade Sati period, and the new member is Pisces. So men and women having moon in Pisces will enter the prison of Sade Sati period, and the jailer is Saturn. So if you behave properly, if you show patience, and if you remain faithful, then the jailer is going to show some leniency towards you. That is why Sade Sati is considered as a challenging process, because it gives a perfect platform for your enemies to target you by casting spell using bandhan kriya on you. And thus you end up in this man-made restriction that stops you from progressing in life. Nowadays, casting black magic spell such as bandhan kriya has become more easier, especially due to the growing presence of black magicians across metro cities and towns. All you need is to shell out a few thousand rupees or dollars, provide the information of the person you want to target, and then the black magician gets down to his work, and he takes his work very seriously because you have paid him to destroy a certain person. And so the black magician ensures that he performs his duty with absolute no defect. He follows the zero error policy. So you see, generally black magic is done by a person who is or has been closer to you. It can be mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Generally, wheresoever the in-law word is connected, there is more probability. As well as when in a relation the word ex comes, then you must be more cautious. For example, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-husband, or ex-wife. Wheresoever the word ex comes, you should remain alert, because these ex people have many reasons to target you, and they generally target you using the dirty path of black magic. And the most sought after kriya is the bandhan kriya, because your ex or your in-laws want to restrict you from progressing in life. Bandhan kriya, bandhan dosh, bandh dena. Apart from these natives, the other people who can target you are your open enemies, and then comes your secret enemies. These secret enemies are men and women who talk very sweetly with you, but from behind the curtains they are casting dangerous black magic spells on you. And if anybody tell you their name, then you will laugh and you will not believe, because these fellows talk so sweetly and behave so nicely with you that you would not imagine in your wildest dreams that these are the ones who are actually planning your destruction. Bandhan dosh is very significant, and it works more effectively if you are going through Shani Sade Sati or Shani Dhaya. Shani Dhaya means when Saturn transits the 8th house from your natal moon. Currently, Gemini sign is going through Shani Dhaya. However, after Jan 17, 2023, Cancer will enter the Shani Dhaya period, while Gemini will be out of Shani Dhaya. Dhaya means 2.5. So basically this period of Shani Dhaya lasts for 2.5 years. So Cancer sign will be in Shani Dhaya period for 2.5 years starting from Jan 17, 2023. There is more to share on Shani Sade Sati. This is the very first part of this extensive series on Shani Sade Sati and remedies. Enough for today. If any one of you have any specific questions regarding Shani Sade Sati, or if you have certain experiences to share of Shani Sade Sati, then feel free to share or feel free to ask by posting your comment. If the question or comment is really good and it can help others, then I will mention that question. I will take that question in my next podcast on Shani Sade Sati. Until then, if you have been following me closely, then keep me in your heart. Meditate daily and remember to chant the Ganesha mantra. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Remember, you can protect yourself if you raise the quality of your life. And quality of life is different from standard of life. Standard of life depends on your income, whereas quality of life depends largely on how deeply you live your life in surrender, how consistently you meditate, and how consistently you chant, and how much determined you are in focusing on your inner growth. So it doesn't matter if your standard of life is low. However, it is a matter of serious concern if the quality of your life is low. Focus on raising the quality of your life by raising the level of your awareness. Remember, what you focus on grows in abundance. Focus on your self growth and success will chase you. You don't have to chase success. Love to all my close followers. Stay blessed, stay patient, and keep walking, because when you keep walking with faith in your heart, the way appears. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.